everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 19th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 26 live feeds. It was day 65 in the house. They just keep coming these days. Strange how that happens. And I'm here on my own to give you the rundown on what happened yesterday on these feeds. The primary story, the headline for the day is that the votes keep shifting. Obviously, what we know is that Leah is the HOH. She nominated Kimo and Rubina. Angela took Kimo off the block. Leah replaced Kimo with T'Kor. And ever since, the vote has been flip-flopping. T'Kor was not the intended target by Leah, but Angela quickly was saying, why don't we do it? As was MJ. MJ being the key vote here because MJ and Angela together made 2, and MJ had some sway with Cam. MJ helped pull Cam aboard, and just like that, as of yesterday's update, it was looking like T'Kor might leave. MJ and Cam talked to Chelsie about it, and Chelsie said, if that's what you guys want, I'm down. However, today on the feeds, as in yesterday, as in day 65, Chelsie fought back. We've been talking all week long about how Chelsie has been distracted by the Cam MJ drama, which has helped push them away a little bit and kept her focus from the important thing, which is keeping them in line. Well, her attention is back. And pretty quickly in the day, she is really going to take a large swing at flipping this vote back around and keeping T'Kor. So she has a conversation with Cam fairly early in the day. And I've said it multiple times now, but man, this one was an annoying one to listen to. There's a literal car alarm going off in the background. Love them being outside. But she tells Cam, here's the problem. The problem is Leah. Leah is the problem. What? Leah's the problem? Sorry, that's... I don't know, I'm just trying to recreate the conversation. It just happened. Is Leah's the problem? Like, yes, Leah's the problem. She's lying about T'Kor. Oh, sorry, it happened again. Sorry about that. She's lying about T'Kor wanting you on the block, Cam. T'Kor, she is still down to get to the end with us. T'Kor, she's in. We can't be tricked into thinking that that T'Kor is trying to take you out by Leah. Leah of all people, no. That's not how it. That's not what's gonna happen. Leah's just trying to plant seeds. That's what's happening. She's trying to plant seeds to separate us. Leah also, she's the problem when it comes to you and MJ. She's the one bringing it up all the time. She's the one that has an issue with it. Really just trying to, the general strategy here is that she's trying to get Leah to be the main target next week and trying to use any anti-Leah sentiment that she's able to dredge up to flip the vote back around to keep T'Kor. If Leah wants T'Kor gone, then we should want T'Kor to stay. It's better for us. We don't want to give Leah what she wants. We need to be against Leah next week. Also, for what it's worth, if she's not able to flip this vote, she still wants them to be anti-Leah. So Cam says, okay, well, if that's true, if T'Kor's not actually coming for me, yeah, I mean, we could consider it, but part of the issue is that it really feels like you're really tight with T'Kor, but she's not actually that tight with me. Like that. She's riding for you. Is she riding for me? Is the question. And Chelsea's like, nah, we're not even that close, though. Like, it's not even a thing. And the reality is, she's not even lying that much. because they're really not. But Chelsea's basically, and for some reason, Cam is buying this. Chelsea's basically saying, "Hey, Cam, I know you really thought that you should be taking T'Kor out, but we should totally be keeping T'Kor." And Cam's like, "Well, isn't that just good for you because you're close to T'Kor?" "Oh no, I'm not even that close to T'Kor. We should just keep her." It's not that I'm close to her. It's just that like she's better for our games than Rubina, but we're totally not even that close. And Cam's like, "You know what? I believe you." Um, I just think I just think it makes sense to have her in our final 5 plans. That's all. Again, like, it's just we can't let Leah plant these seeds. My concern, she says, is that MJ is drifting. Is that Leah is getting into MJ's head, and that if we let that go unchecked, MJ drifts off to Leah and Angela, and all of a sudden we're on the outs and we've taken out T'Kor. That's not good for us. And this is making some sense to Cam, it seems. Uh, she's like, look at the evidence of what Leah is doing. She's lying to you about T'Kor wanting you on the block. She's planting seeds about you and MJ all over the house, or the backyard, I should say. Um, she's trying to pull MJ over. You got to be looking at Leah. She goes in hard, and we're not entirely sure, but it seems as though Cam is starting to be swayed over in that direction. Now, in the meantime, uh, some other conversations are happening. Rubina's talking to Kimo, making her pitch to him. He tells her that he's not committed quite yet, one way or the other. She says, "I know you're probably voting for T'Kor to stay." He says, "No, not necessarily." Um, if I had to give you my guess, I think that Kimo is a vote for T'Kor to stay, though I do think he'd be willing to vote in the other direction depending on where the votes may fall. One way or another, I do not think that Kimo is a reliable vote for Rubina. If you think that, oh well, we're losing Cam, but maybe Kimo will go, doesn't seem likely to me. Now, Chelsea's also going to make this pitch to MJ, the anti-Leah pitch, the let's maybe keep T'Kor pitch. MJ though remains focused. She's not swayed by the anti Rubina rhetoric or the let's keep T'Kor rhetoric. Chelsea does not make much progress here with MJ, and instead kind of focuses on like the anti Leah stuff. Like maybe next week Leah should be the focus, given that we are probably keeping Rubina. Um, and I think this conversation maybe spooks Chelsea a little bit because she made a lot of progress with Cam, but then ran into a brick wall with MJ. So Chelsea's now kind of hanging out, feeling like, I made some progress here, but I'm not sure where MJ stands, and I'm not sure how we can maneuver that situation. And in the meantime, Cam is talking to T'Kor, and trying to confirm some of the stuff that Chelsea was saying. Like, are you really down for this? Are you really riding for me? T'Kor says, yes, absolutely. I want a person of color to win this game. Guess what, Cam? I don't know if you've noticed. Um, but also, I wasn't really saying your name to Leah. I might have said something about like a physical threat or something along those lines, but like I was not talking about you. I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding. Now, she was talking about him, like straight up. But of course, she's not going to say that. She's campaigning for her life here. Uh, so she says, I think a lot of the right things here to confirm what Chelsea was saying. I'm riding for you, Cam. I was not trying to get you on the block. If somebody said that, then they were either lying or misconstruing things. And Cam says afterwards he doesn't really know who to believe right now. He's genuinely up in the air. He's not sure which way is the right way, and he's not sure who's telling him the truth. So uh MJ then talks to Angela, and this was a very interesting conversation because MJ has now had this conversation with Chelsie where Chelsie pushed back about the T'Kor stuff. And by the end of that conversation, MJ did feel like Chelsie had given up, and it's possible that she had, right? Because again, Chelsie ran into that brick wall, and she's now wondering, where do I go from here? MJ now feels like Chelsie is again, once again, willing to concede the point and let T'Kor go. She's talking to Angela about this. They think it's possible that Chelsie might not push back too hard. She already has, and we'll see where Cam stands with all of it. But she feels like Chelsie might be on board, and that's great for them. However, she's still concerned primarily about Chelsie and Cam and how close they are. MJ recognizes and says to Angela, "I know that Chelsie and Cam will choose each other over me." MJ. Can we just remark upon how it was like 3 weeks ago that MJ was spouting the wildest conspiracy theories. Just couldn't be further from the mark. 2 weeks ago, she was like starting to get closer, but still pretty wildly off. 1 week ago, she was actively working for Chelsie. And now this week, she's making a play on T'Kor that may or may not work. She seems to have an accurate read of the house all of a sudden. And maybe positioning herself into a good spot. I don't want to say a front runner spot quite yet. It's possible she could get there, but positioning herself into a nice little comfy spot in the structure of this house. And the biggest thing for me all week long, the positioning is great, but mentality and planning is the key. She can position herself well all she wants, but if she plans to go to the end with Chelsie still, it doesn't matter. Um, so the fact that she's recognizing, or at least saying, she might not actually believe it, but saying that she sees that Chelsie and Cam will choose each other indicates to me that she's looking elsewhere for a final two situation, which is, I think, probably what she needs to do if she wants to win. And who is she talking to? Well, Angela, of course. Who else?
I'm wheeling and dealing over here, ladies and gents. I got to do what I got to do.
And they talk about how close they've become. MJ used the veto on Angela last week, remember? And like they have a relationship that is kind of under the radar. A lot of people look at Leah and Angela. They're not really looking at MJ and Angela at the moment. And how can they use that to their advantage? I mean, it's any alliance is to Angela's advantage, and a somewhat under the radar alliance with Angela is certainly to MJ's advantage. We talked a little bit earlier in the week about how Leah and Angela could use this week to separate themselves in the eyes of the rest of the house by maybe faking a fight or at least some tension between the fact that Angela used this veto against Leah's will. And while they had planned to do that, they did not follow through as kind of expected. And everyone sees Angela and Leah as lockstep in with each other. They are a duo, they are a pair. And so, while that's not good for Leah and maybe not the best thing in the world for Angela, uh, it is good for MJ, who gets to sort of glob onto them and maybe even have this like sneaky duo relationship with Angela, sneaky duo relationship with Leah, um, while not actually being the primary focus of any targeting of them. Um, so basically, what Chelsea's trying to do, but with different people. So, something to watch out for, especially if she's able to land this T'Kor vote. That is the key to all of it. If she does not manage to get T'Kor out, this comes crumbling down to a significant degree. Not entirely, but it's not nearly as good. Especially because she's been the primary for leading this vote to keep Rubina, and Rubina knows this. Um, like this could really be good. Like if she keeps Rubina and Rubina recognizes that like MJ really was the person who tried to get her to stay, and now MJ has Leah and Angela over here. She has Cam and Chelsie over here who are maybe concerned about where she's going but can't do anything about it yet. And then then Rubina over here as because where's Rubina going? She could certainly go to Cam and Chelsie, and Chelsea's going to make a play for it very soon. We'll talk about it. Um but why not MJ? I mean, Rubina has to take all options at this point. So listen, there's a very interesting path here for MJ, taking full advantage of the break that she got from Leah winning this HOH, and it's been solid. It's been solid stuff. So the primary thing here, though, as I mentioned, is she has to make sure T'Kor leaves, and Cam is wavering. Not only wavering, but when she talks to him, he's starting to pitch, "Hey, I think we should keep T'Kor." Basically, he's making argument after argument for why T'Kor should stay. He says, "I talked to Chelsie about their relationship. She cleared everything up. She said they're not even that close." But so I don't know. I feel like she wants to keep her, and I want to keep her a little bit. And I think Rubina maybe is a little bit more of a threat in some ways because are people even going to go after Rubina after this? Like I don't know. He's making these pitches, and MJ once again holds firm. She says, "Listen, it's not just Chelsie we need to be worried about. T'Kor also has better relationships with Kimo and Rubina. Or I mean, it's just straight up Kimo at this point. Like she will be lockstep with Kimo, whereas Rubina and Kimo are on different pages right now. Kimo's voting Rubina out, as far as we know. Like that's better for us. They're more separate than T'Kor and T'Kor and Kimo would be. Not on top of the fact that T'Kor and Chelsie have this relationship. We'll see if it's actually that close or not. And Cam's like, but what about Leah? Like, I just feel like Leah's planting all these seeds. And MJ says, listen, I know Leah does not have my back fully, right? I know that Leah has been all season long, talking about me, so on and so forth. But I do not think she was lying when she said T'Kor wanted you on the block. That is something that I think has been said a lot of times from T'Kor. T'Kor put you on the block. Like, come on, Cam. And it's better for our games that Leah sticks around for another week than if Leah goes. Because while Leah isn't the most trustworthy person in the world, she likes us and is good for our games. Is she good for Chelsea's game? No. But that's Chelsea's game. And Cam agrees with this. He says, yeah, you're right. Leah is better for us, not as good for Chelsie. Not quite agreeing to not target Leah, but definitely agreeing with that notion. He's still concerned though that she's planting these seeds and trying to split them up. So definitely still trying to like have his cake and eat it too, retain the trio, while preventing Leah from infiltrating and preventing specifically MJ from leaving, from drifting. So by the end of this conversation, Cam seems to have turned back around and is talking about how it does make more sense to take out T'Kor. So, crisis averted, perhaps, on MJ's end. She has flipped Cam back. Maybe for now. It's hard to say because, again, he went into that conversation pretty pro keeping T'Kor, comes out of that conversation perhaps pro keeping Rubina, but it's not entirely clear. And we don't get a lot of clarification afterward. In the meantime, Chelsie makes that play I mentioned before with Rubina. If MJ has been the primary source of campaigning for Rubina, Chelsie wants to make sure that if she basically when Chelsie tried to influence MJ, let's keep T'Kor, and MJ was like, no, we're keeping Rubina. Chelsie was like, okay, what do I do? She goes to Rubina and she says, hey, Rubina, I really want to keep you. Straight up lie, right? Like, I really want to keep you, Rubina. I really think that we can make this happen. I know MJ's been campaigning. I'm on board too. I mean, I've been campaigning as well. Don't worry about it. Like, I've also basically been like a day one Rubina supporter. It's not just MJ doing it. Don't worry about it. And man, Leah sucks, right? Like, I mean, this girl put you up on the block, put you in this position. I hate her. I feel like we should all be going after her next week, don't you? Rubina's like, yes, that's what I'm talking. It's so right. She did do that to us. Um, Again, basically, everything we talked about at the beginning of the week, where you have put these people in the position of power to keep one of your two nominations because they're two from the same side, and so now Chelsie is able to, even when being outmaneuvered in the vote itself, able to use the leverage of her vote in either direction, as is MJ, to win those people to their side, right? So um, it's again, it's like because it's T'Kor and Rubina on the block, all the power has gone to the hands of MJ, Cam, Chelsie, to varying degrees, and yes, there's been a little bit of luck that MJ and Cam, particularly MJ, has started a little bit of a power struggle within that group. But it's still a power struggle within that group. Like they're the ones who hold this power at the moment. Um, and the best case scenario is that the power is like relatively even, and they destroy themselves essentially. So Rubina agrees. Let's target Leah, and thank you for trying to keep me, Chelsie. Um, the night continues, and it's a long one. They do a little show, as they do. Um, the trio commiserates together. It's their last nights. It's sad. T'Kor talks to Kimo about what to do moving forward in the game and who to trust and who to target. It should be Leah. Target Leah. And says like I'm rooting for you. Like you can totally win this thing. Stuff like that, as well as campaigns for him, for herself to him, like, hey, I do think I'm better for your game, so on and so forth. And all night long, and last night on the recap, I said this, like, surely at some point we're going to have some kind of late night conversation where we clarify exactly where this vote falls, because we still don't know for sure where Cam stands, and Cam ultimately is the decider here. So we finally get to it. Chelsea's asking Cam, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? And Cam starts explaining. Now, I want to set the scene a little bit here because, like when you watch a movie and there's a character who has vital information, you're like, they need to get this information out. Um, but like right before they're able to reveal the information, they die. They get shot or something. Like, oh, and remember, never forget the dog. That was trying to listen to Cam explain who he wanted to vote for last night, because he goes to answer Chelsea and he's like, "Okay, so I've been thinking about the final five situation, and what I was thinking was, oh, oh, hey MJ, hey MJ." I'm just like, "Hey, what's up? What are you guys talking about?" He's like, "Okay, well, what I was talking was that I was thinking about the final five situation, and my thoughts are that like what I think we should do is oh, hi Leah. "Oh, hey guys, what are you guys talking about?" "Uh, nothing. No, it's fine. No, yeah, we're just hanging out." He can't get his thoughts out. He's about to say it like 3 times. He keeps getting interrupted. And then he never gets back around to it. It doesn't happen. So here's the problem, guys. I don't have an update for you. I do not know. I don't know where things are going tonight. Cam didn't say. For what it's worth, Leah, when she walked up, was doing her due diligence here and saying, like, hey guys, what are you thinking about the vote? And Cam and Chelsie were a little hush about it. And it was MJ that said, we're voting out T'Kor. So it is unclear. Was Cam about to break the news to Chelsie? Hey, I've been thinking a little bit more about this, and I think we should vote T'Kor out after all. Or was he giving her a new set of argument to use to convince MJ to keep T'Kor? I don't know. He could have been saying, I've been thinking about the final five situation, and it turns out I think that T'Kor being out makes more sense for us. Or he could have been saying, I've been thinking about the final five situation, and I think you're right. I think that T'Kor makes a lot of sense to keep because I think that Leah will be going after T'Kor more than she'll be going after Rubina or something like that. And we can use that as an argument to convince MJ. We don't know. And we will have to wait until today before the eviction for them to have this conversation. Now, it does still seem like the momentum is pushing in the direction of T'Kor leaving. MJ is very firm about this, and she should be. Like at this point, MJ, it's worth damaging these relationships to some degree to make this vote happen. If they go with you and vote to get out T'Kor and they're pissed at you, that's still a much better outcome for MJ than like, okay, well, I guess I'll give in because I don't want them to be mad at me, right? Because it just takes away all of her power. So MJ has been firm. I expect her to continue to be firm this week. And if MJ is firm, there it's just such a late push and there's so much hesitancy involved that MJ's firmness may be enough to carry the day. So we'll see. There is a full day ish. There's rehearsal and stuff like that. So there is some time, but they are outside and it is eviction day. So um who knows? Who knows at this point? That's pretty much where we are. The amount of times I've come here on a Thursday morning and told you I don't know who's going to be evicted tonight is quite high, and this one doesn't even have the AI arena to excuse it. So we'll see. It could be T'Kor, it could be Rubina, and I think we're also starting the HOH competition tonight. It would be great if we finished it. That'd be fun, but what are we gonna do? Let's get some questions in the chat here to wrap up. You guys are basically when I ask my guest, like, is there anything else? That's what I'm doing for you guys right now. Is there anything else you want to ask me before we wrap up this update here today? Um, okay. So, uh, who does Angela win against? Nobody right now, I would say, but it's not impossible that things could change. Yes, there is some news as well. Dr. Will is out as the roundtable host, the jury roundtable host. So theoretically, that means we're getting somebody new. I don't know if they had a new idea for who it would be, or if it was just a contract thing, or what. But Dr. Will's out. Uh, a lot of people are speculating who is it going to be. What I would say is that like given the Big Brother track record, whoever you want it to be, it's probably not gonna be them. But hey, we might be pleasantly surprised. Who do I think is the better player to evict tonight? For most players, the better player is T'Kor. For Chelsie specifically, it's really just Chelsie. Chelsie is the only one that benefits from T'Kor being in this game. Um, because Chelsea's the only person that can maybe beat T'Kor in the final two, and she's the only person that that T'Kor will prioritize um, in the game significantly, other than, of course, Kimo. I would say that it benefits Kimo, but the problem is that like Kimo also benefits from Rubina being there. So it's like you could maybe say again. There's an argument for Kimo to keep T'Kor, but I don't think it's a strong enough one. Best HOH outcome for feeds is probably honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, Angela's always a good one. Angela would probably try to target Chelsie. Would she succeed is another question, and there could be some fun there. A Chelsie HOH, she's certainly targeting Leah, which might be fairly straightforward because I think that Leah just goes if she doesn't win. A Cam or MJ HOH is interesting because I think that that's probably the most dynamic week in the sense that they might end up backdooring Leah, which could be interesting. So I'm not sure. Um, if Kimo wins, who does he put up? I think at this point he's probably going to do Leah. Um, Would he do Angela? He doesn't want to. He wants to pay her back, but, like, who else is he putting up? Maybe MJ? Um, Not impossible. Would be kind of an unfortunate path there for her. But, like, I don't think he's decided quite yet on it. You know, he talked to T'Kor about what he'd do, but what would he actually do, especially if T'Kor's gone? I'm not sure. For what it's worth, MJ did mention not telling Kimo about the vote last night, so that could be an additional point against her if he does end up winning. Like, "Hey, you blindsided me," and there's people that can rat her out on that. Um, let's see. Does MJ beat Chelsie in the jury if she pulls off this move and a big comp run or another big move? That's a good question because MJ basically cutting off Chelsea's power, but then still bringing Chelsie to the end is a path that some players have been able to do before. Um, like, yes, Chelsie is a front runner to win the jury right now, but only because she was in such a good position and doing so well. If MJ starts doing better, but still decides to take Chelsie, can she then beat Chelsie? And I would say that in some circumstances, that's maybe possible. In this jury, I'm not quite as sure, primarily because of the particular dynamics and relationships. T'Kor, I think, will always be a vote for Chelsie over MJ. With T'Kor, I do believe comes Rubina and Kimo to a greater extent. I think that they are just a lot more likely to go in that direction. Not because they would just blindly follow necessarily, but because I think they respect her opinion, and I think that in general it would go in that direction. Um, but it also depends on how long they've been separated. But that alone is like a tough thing to overcome. I think Cam might be in there as a vote for Chelsie, but that's maybe debatable. You probably get Angela and Leah as MJ votes, depending on how the game shakes up. You might get Quinn there. Quinn has been pretty adamant throughout the season that Chelsea is the better player, but we've seen that shift before. So I would say it's still a tough road in general. Not one I would want to risk if I'm MJ. There are much better options for her. Who does MJ put on the block? I believe MJ puts Kimo and Rubina on the block. That is what her current plan is. But would she backdoor Leah? I don't think she would be inclined to. But if the veto was won, she doesn't exactly have a lot of other options unless she wants to pawn Angela, which would potentially ruin that relationship. And right now, I do think Angela is her best final two pair. So we'll see. Who is best poised to win HOH tonight? I mean, given that last time it was a physical comp, they're starting it this. I really feel like it's gonna be like a tournament style quizzy kind of thing. Kind of like think about like the one where they had the emojis and it was like how many of these emojis were on the screen, some kind of like we're gonna show you something and then ask questions about it. I feel like it could be one of those. They obviously did just do the studying one where they showed them videos and then eventually asked them about it, but like more of a like quick find the difference thing, kind of like that. Could be something there. Could also be physical, and if it's that, then obviously MJ or Cam would have a big leg up. Really could be anything with this. We're gonna start it. We're gonna start it. I don't know. Um, do you think Cam will talk to Leah again and ask about T'Kor lying? I doubt it at this point, to be honest. I don't know if there's enough time for that kind of conversation. But it's not impossible. It depends on if Leah is active about talking to him. I would say she's more likely to start a conversation where he then asks than he is to start a conversation with her specifically. Um, let's see. Why do I think Rubina hasn't told Cam and T'Kor that T'Kor told her she would be targeting Cam? Um, you know. If Cam talked to Rubina and asked her specifically, as T'Kor talked about this, I think she'd probably tell him the truth. I mean, she has a little bit told him this, but I think that it wasn't like a strong kind of like, hey, she definitely did this. So I think if they have another conversation, that could really help sell it to Cam. Um, yeah, I appreciate it. I have seen some of this, and it is certainly flattering, and nowhere near the amount of support that I'm sure plenty of other people. They're not gonna make me the round table. Would I do? Of course, I would do it if they asked. They would never ask. But quite frankly, it should be a player. I think it should be a player, and I think it should be a player that has some sort of symbolic like interaction with the jury. Somebody who either, won a particularly interesting jury vote or lost a bitter jury vote. I think like the symbolism of somebody who is there, who has faced a jury vote or like is has like a big part of their story involved the jury is a huge deal. Primarily because they don't actually do much as the jury roundtable host. They're just kind of sitting there. They get like 30 seconds to 60 seconds of total airtime in the show. Unless they start making these segments better, like then the personality matters more. But I think the symbolism matters more than anything else from my perspective. And so for me to be there, it would just be like, who is this random person just standing? Like, I don't think it makes sense. But listen, I appreciate it. It's yeah. Um, let's see. Do I think they'll go into the house early to get ready for the eviction? It's possible. Actually, you know what? They're probably gonna do it outside, now that I'm thinking about it. Um, I wonder if they have, like, a comp set up in the house. That'd be kind of fun. What if they do the eviction outside and it's not, like, the basement that they're doing the HOH in, but, like, literally the house? They've got some kind of comp set up in there. I think it'd be fun. Um, let's see. Any other questions? Is there still time for Zingbot? I think so. I think we'll get it. I think we'll get it in. How do you not get Zingbot in when you have a whole AI situation going on? Um, all right, I'm gonna flip up here. Okay. I think that's about what we've got. Um, so here's the thing. The thing to be looking out for today, if you're watching or paying attention, is where does Cam stand? What kind of conversation is Cam going to have with Chelsie, with MJ, maybe even with Rubina or T'Kor? Is T'Kor going to get a little more active and be like, "Hey, Cam, what are you doing? Hey, like Chelsie, what's happening? Is where's the vote? Is Rubina going to be doing that? Is Leah going to keep asking?" So Plenty still to come with the vote tonight. Very key vote for the direction of the season, and then HOH, obviously a big one. So stay tuned. I will be back tonight. I'll be on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. We have a good time over there. If you like these solo updates, you're gonna love the Twitch. We hang out, we talk about things. You can ask questions all the time, and I'm interactive with the chat. I'll be watching the episode live, so we'll have a good time over there. And then after the episode, back here on the podcast, we'll be joined by America to talk about all of the nonsense going on. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, to update you on everything that happens today and tonight on the Big Brother 26 live feed. So stay tuned for all of it. Check out our Circle coverage. Circle, second batch of episodes. Whoo, boy. There are some moments on the Circle in the second batch of episodes that were like, wow, I did not know that the Circle had this in them. You know what I mean? Like the Circle, it's always like, oh, Circle message, alert. This was like, whoa. I didn't know you could get this dramatic Circle. Jeez. So check out our Circle coverage. Check out the scripted coverage we've got going on the Tastemakers. We talked to Kevin Jacobs about all of basically like the whole slate of movies coming out this year. Him and Grace watched a bunch of them and gave some previews, which was very fun. We also reacted to the Emmys. So lots of stuff going on over there. Check it all out. It's good stuff. Thank you for joining me here today, and I will see all of you next time.